Welcome to Comic Picks by the Glick.
Yeah, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason. What's on tap today?
Well, it's like it took a little bit longer than I was expecting it to, but hey, here we are finally with the best of 2023 podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's like a whole year passed by. It's like, and even though I know we're in February right now, it's like, there was still some stuff I was hoping to read that was like, I wanted to see if would it make my list? Would it like get me to reconsider what was the best of last year? And the answer was no. No, it did not. It's like, I enjoyed it to various extents, but, like, I guess all that last minute stuff didn't quite tip the scales in any way, because this is, like, kind of a weird year in the sense that, while it's not like I didn't read a lot of good or even great comics, there wasn't a lot of, like, stuff that made me go, like, oh my god, this is, like the best thing I read this year, full stop. So that was, on one level, that was disappointing. But then, like looking back on everything that I wrote and talked about on the blog and the podcast, there was still, like lots of good quality stuff here. Enough stuff to just make a proper top 10 list, and also to make like honorable mentions, and also at least like some thoroughly disappointing stuff as well. So, with that in mind, let's get with the honorable mentions. The stuff that was like good, but maybe not quite as good as I was hoping to, in order to make a proper top 10 list. So we've got like the stuff we talked about on the last podcast, the Ancient Magus' Bride, the college arc, which, well, very entertaining, was maybe like, a little bit too messy. It's like, and not quite as well thought out as it should have been in order to like, top its like original, it's like, not 9-volume storyline. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it's like, maybe it didn't quite hit as hard as I wanted to. Then there's Dead Demons Destruction, which took a big swing for its final arc. That kind of like put a lot of the stuff that it was doing previously to the side, and still delivered a solid finale, but didn't quite have the like the twists, or like the surprise to make me go, oh wow! It's like when I finally realized this is like a story about life during wartime, or just like about the travails of like having to survive depression, and like the lengths you'll go, how some people would be willing to kill an entire universe in order to avoid that. There you go. Also, there's Once in the Future by Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora, which was delivered a good wrap up to its storyline of like mother and son, just like going on like mother trying to impart her her values of like adventuring onto her son, and maybe not quite succeeding, but also just like England dealing with its own like magical bullshit as well. Like entertaining, like worth reading, but maybe not just like thoroughly surprising or transcendent as I was hoping in its end. Also, there's Star Wars Darth Vader by Greg Pak, Raphael Ienco, and whoever else was not busy at Marvel at the time to illustrate it. Greg Pak's Darth Vader run has been very uneven, like over the course of his run. These like the most recent volumes have actually been really entertaining. Basically, in the sense that they not only do they get me to reconsider what this storyline was about, but also just delivering some purely entertaining issues as well, and leaving the series in a good spot to its like crossover Dark Droids tie-in as well. It's not didn't make the top 10 list because, as I said, the series has been very uneven. So there's always a chance that like the Dark Droids tie-in and subsequent volumes could just fall flat on their face. But overall, it's like there's no denying that hey, like this series may wind up being, this run maybe wind up being like much better than I thought it was going to be, overall. And also going back to Kieran Gillen again, we've got Eternals: A History Written in Blood, which was a collection of the one shots that he did in order to tie in to to his Eternals run, which on one hand was quite good, but also clearly didn't sell well enough to like give him like the leeway to just like tell everything he wanted to. Because, and if you say that, oh well, this is a guy who got like 12 issues of a series and even an event series to tell his storyline. Well, yeah. So like basically, when you put it down like that, he got like 16 issues of a comic book to tell the story and change. And so that does not equate to me as being as a successful run on any title. I appreciate the fact that he was given like the leeway to like end his run like on his own terms. But there you go. But History Written in Blood was both good because the individual like one shots, Thanos Rising, Celestia, and the like, it's like in the Unforgotten, Forbidden. God, I can't remember. Like it's terrible. But basically like all these three like issues were all entertaining stories in and of themselves. It did add to like the depth of his run, and also but more importantly, it's like the ancillary material, like the previous like storylines from like original story like stories from other creators that he like Gillen touched upon included here also did a good job of like he like it showed you like how like how Gillen was like adapting them into his run and how they were still relevant even if they were like more like came off as more like propaganda than anything else. It's really it was really quite good. It's like and it's like I and it was like but not maybe not quite as like transcendent to like get to the top 10. So what did get to the top 10? Well, bettering my expectations, that's for one, which is how we get to number 10, Night Fever by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I mean, these guys are like a fantastic team, and I've loved everything they've done. It's like going all the way back to Sleeper at least. Night Fever was like the was the one thing that they were like set to do that I was kind of worried about because basically it was all about a middle-aged guy going to Europe like on as part of like a book sales thing because he's like a member of a publisher, and him just like getting involved in like some dark like skeevy like European like sex and drug stuff, like the dark underbelly of mankind like and all. And yeah, we've seen that kind of stuff before and kind of knew how it would end, but they did a good job of like getting into this guy's head, trying to think about showing us why he would do the things he do, and just like how he gets swept up in all this like this dark underbelly of man type stuff. It was a lot better than I was expecting, honestly, and also it was a lot better than the book from Brubaker and Phillips that they did later that year that I was expecting to be great, and that was Where the Body Was. Well, it's not a bad story. I wasn't, I guess, quite enamored with it as I was expecting it to be. I'll have a full review of it on the blog eventually, if not before you read this. But there you go. But yeah, Night Fever, maybe not great. Brubaker and Phillips still really quite good, and hey, show that they can still surprise me and invest like a familiar storyline with with enough depth and detail that can make me interested in it. So there you go. Now, I've already talked about one Star Wars series, that's Greg Pak's Darth Vader run. But for my money, the better Star Wars series, and no disrespect to like what Charles Soule's been doing. And if you're wondering, like, well, why aren't you talking about like Ethan Sachs and his Bounty Hunters run? So let me say about Alyssa Wong and her run on Dr. Aphra, which didn't start out on the best terms, but got better as it went along, and to the point where, well, when you're doing like a 16 issue 3-volume storyline, I'm kind of thinking in this day and age for like a Marvel comic, oh man, this is gonna be like got to be really good, and it may not have started out to that level, but it got better. It got really good. I mean, like, second volume was like, wow, like I'm kind of surprised what's going on here. Like, oh, volume 3 where it gets everything wraps up. Wow, it's like that that did it. Basically, you can call this the Ascendant Saga. But these 3 volumes that they basically did a great job of getting into setting up like a galactic level threat for April to face, and also getting into her head about just why she does the things she does, why she's so selfish, and just like wants to do like everything for herself, and just can't just commit to like letting the people she loves like have any agency in her life. It's like it's good stuff, and maybe it relies a bit too heavily on what Charles Soule was doing in in his Hidden Empire or like his Crimson Empire stuff. It's like because yeah, you're probably going to want to read that as well in order to get like the full range of what was going on in the final volume. But overall, it's like it was really good. It's like and yeah, again, it was better than I expected it to be. So there you go. So that was number 9. Number 8 is a creator basically taking doing the creator-owned route to tell stories about a character that he wanted to tell but wasn't able to at the time. I'm talking about Simon Spurrier doing his version of Hellblazer with Damn Them All, and alongside artist Charlie Adlard giving us his first interior work since since he stopped doing the Walking Dead. Yeah, the art's great because Adlard is a fantastic artist where he's drawing like realistic humans and zombies, and also just doing fantastic demonological stuff here as well. But Damn Them All basically did Hellblazer better than Spurrier was doing Hellblazer, because while I I I did generally enjoy Spurrier's Hellblazer run, the second volume of it and the end of it basically is an example of how dark does a Hellblazer story have to go in order before it goes off the rails. But that's contingent upon me having a lot of history with John Constantine and thinking about hey, I know what I want to see in a John Constantine story. And Damn Them All basically introduces us to a new Hellblazer. It's like Ellie Bloody L Hawthorne. It's like and it's like in her and this lady who has deep knowledge of the the supernatural imparted to her. It's like by her dad Alfie, or it's like and basically it's it's Hellblazer with the serial numbers filed off, and all the better for it. It's like it's got the kind of demonic all the demonic business that you'd expect from Hellblazer, but also the creativity you get in order to along with the tissue how she knows how to deal with all this stuff as well. I mean, even though I'm kind of expecting this to be a 12-issue series, this first volume did a good job of giving us a solid 4-issue introductory arc and a 2-issue follow up that basically did a great job of establishing Ellie Ellie's character and her and her uncle not John Constantine as well. It was great fun, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how it wraps up. And it's also worth noting that this is the first Spurrier written creator-owned title in a long while to actually go more than just one 6-issue arc. So good on him right there. Good on Adlard, because they deserve that kind of success, and I kind of hope that they do more. Even though I know we've got John Constantine Hellblazer Dead in America coming from DC as we speak, but but as I've said, that series could just right off the rails. But this, they could hit its stride. It's as it goes on. I'm hoping maybe it'll go on for more than 12 issues, but we'll see. Next up is a series that has been underachieving for a while in my book, but its latest volume basically showed that hey, it's maybe it can put all the pieces together. Maybe it can just show you that hey, it can really give you some genuine narrative momentum, and and give you some direction as far as characters and overall plot can go. And that is Die Dark by Q Hayashida. While it's kind of best described as Dorohedoro, Q Hayashida's previous series, in space. It's been a good showcase for her relentlessly demented imagination. It's about a an overgrown 14-year-old Zaha Sanko and his adventure and his efforts to keep out of the hands of everyone who wants his bones, because someone started a rumor that if you get his bones, then you'll be able to have your wishes granted. And no one has been more persistent in getting his bones than the Lighthead Order and their leader, Big Sparkle. So Volume 6 basically had like Zaha and his buddy Shimada Death being transported to Lighthead Order's headquarters, and fusing in order to become like Sanko Death, or was it Zaha Death? One of those things, and basically laying waste to them in vengeance until things went wrong, and Zaha's one of Zaha's nemesis from his elementary school days. No, really, came up and said I'm gonna get you, meatball spaghetti. Which, yeah, it's crazy, it's nuts, but all the disparate parts of the series came together in this volume to give you to finally give the series some direction, some real momentum, and even if it falls on its face in the next volume, it's I'm very much looking forward to seeing where it goes, because this is a series that says it's demented, it's weird, it's entertaining in ways that I just wasn't expecting, and yeah, it could all fall apart, but I hope it doesn't. I want to see where it goes. Yeah, one series that did bring everything together and then decided, I'm out, we're done, was I Hate This Place by Kyle Starks and artist Artem Tomplin. Now this is another series from a writer that I like, Kyle Starks, who like Spurrier has also struggled to have a series he's done last more than one arc. Well, this series wrapped up with volume 2, even though it was his most successful series, to date. But at the same time, though, this, it still felt like it was meant to be. It's maybe he was just decided okay, maybe my most successful series is only going to last 10 issues, so let me just make sure it all goes out with a bang, and that it does. Because it's a series that doesn't just involve aliens, ghosts. It's an actual living monsters. It's and the lesbian couple that lives on the ranch, that is home to all these things. It's you think that well, how are you going to wrap this up in 5 issues after you're setting everything up in the previous 5-issue arc? Well, Starks and Tomplin actually pull it off. Maybe just to give you the idea, maybe this is meant to be a 10-issue series, and a great 10-issue series at that. So great that after a friend of mine bought me the first volume, thinking that, hey, it's I thought this is good, you should read it. And oh, I've already read it. It's damn it. So yeah, assuming that she's got that she's still holding on to that volume. I got her volume 2, because yeah, you deserve to have the whole story for this series, which, like I said, works out very, very well, and it's further proof that Starks is a talent worth following. Hopefully, now that his work with Marvel and DC, specifically on the miniseries Peacemaker Tries Hard, will give it a further boost to his his fan following, and allow him to do what his next series, his next creator-owned series, however long he wants. So there you go. And moving up to the top 5, well, I just want to say that it's really that well, licensed comics are kind of a dime a dozen these days, and while a lot of them are really good, a lot better than they were back when I was growing up, it's still kind of hard to just pick one out and say, hey, you know what, this would make a great movie or episode of the TV series, or just version of the book that it that it's adapting. So that's what got this number 5. Basically, it's I think this would be a great episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, because basically it's all about the USS Cerritos answering a call about hey, a planet wants to join the like join the Federation, and they've got it's like and Captain Freeman has to like manage the manage the second contact that will like hopefully like deal with this. Only it turns out that this place turns out to be like a lot less advanced than they thought, and if that wasn't bad enough, well, it turns out that that Boimler, Mariner, and the rest of the regular crew have also managed to make Ascension Dracula on the on the holodeck. This comes to us from writer Ryan North and artist Chris Finoglio, and from the writing, which is very smart, self-aware, and witty, and the art, which nails the look of the series excellently. I really enjoyed this. Christine enjoyed this as well because we did a whole podcast about this, and it was enough to make me go like, wow, this is so great. Why isn't there like an ongoing series of of Lower Decks comics from IDW, which that's my biggest issue there. I mean, and yeah, it's North came back to write the Shax's Best Day one shot for the Day of Blood crossover event. But that's enough. I want more. I want another mini series. God damn it, IDW, you gotta give it to me, please. So there you go. But I'm going on to on number 4, and I just put this here because you know what? This is absurd. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. And by God, it did its ridiculous, dumb, absurd premise better in Volume 2 than it did in Volume 1. I'm talking about Shirtless Bear Fighter by Jody LeHup and artist Nick Verndell. It picks up not long after the first volume, after Shirtless, yeah, his name. First name Shirtless, last name Bear Fighter, has defeated the bear threat, but not all is right. He's still feeling vicious and untamed, when he fights against in his fight against the bear threat, and it's getting him all sorts of trouble with his courts and the anti-bear fighting army. And by God, it just goes into some weird, strange, crazy directions, and I love the series for it. I mean, our collector's not just worked in trilogies, and I kind of hope that maybe we'll get a third Bear Fighter story at some point. But even though I think that it wrapped up really well here, so if they do want to stop things here, good, because doing a series, a solid series that's better than the original, that shit's hard, man. It's more often than not, just kind of get hit with diminishing returns and just go, nah. It's I don't want to follow this. Let's just end it here. It's and be glad we just got what it is. But it's like I said, doing something that was as intentionally, purposely dumb and entertaining as this, and making it turn out as good as it did, that's great. But what's even better, turning out something that's actually kind of smart, and and well thought out, and it has lots of humor put into it as well. But we'll get back to that in a second. But going to number 3, well, we've got Mob Psycho 100, coming to the end of its next major arc as the evil psychic organization Claw returns to take out Tokyo and basically subjugate all of Japan and then the world, with its psychic threat. It's and only a mob can stand against it, or can he? When it's revealed that that Claw's first target was to take out Bob's family. What's he gonna do then? This is an arc that had me surprised and just wondering where it was gonna go, from the start. because it's like but also like surprised at its heart as well, in the sense that even though like there's a lot of like quality like psychic battles and psychic action here, it's ultimately really all about Mob just trying to find a way to like understand his opponents, not beat them, but just trying to find a way to reason with them and get them to stop fighting and just like causing all the destruction they are, and that's really kind of impressive. And even though like the series acknowledges that hey, Mob is gonna have to struggle to not succumb to like the wild abandon that his powers like allow him to, it's I like the fact that it addresses that, and and actually like has like a way that and the way he like deals with all of his opponents like really does feel earned more than anything else, and that's really kind of impressive. Just the fact that hey, you don't have to like beat your opponents into submission. You can actually get them to understand, sympathize with you, and realize the error of their ways, which is something that it's really tough to do these days. And I kind of wish we'd see like more of like in comics, at least like stuff that's done that kind of thing that's done as well as Mangaka One does here. Of course, the other end of the spectrum, we get the number 2 pick, which basically like shows you just how fun it can be when it's like when a superhero universe just goes right off the deep end, right into madness, depravity, and on sheer utter hopelessness. I'm talking about the Sins of Sinister, the best Marvel event I've read in a while. And while Kieran Gillen did good work on AXE Judgment Day, his real masterstroke here was working with Al Ewing and Simon Spurrier on this crossover between Immortal X-Men, X-Men Red, and it's like a Legion of X. Like basically, this is a it's a riff on the classic Age of Apocalypse storyline, which back in the '90s saw like all the X-Men titles canceled and replaced for 4 months with alternate titles that basically showed you that basically asked the question, what would the world be like if Xavier had died and Apocalypse had risen to prominence, like in the world. It's like that kind of like that storyline is basically been like a touchstone for X-Men for the storylines like ever since, which them coming to do their riffs on them like every so often. So most recently in the Age of X-Men event that preceded the House of X, Powers of X relaunch of the line. Sins of Sinister like basically like asks what if Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister, finally got what he wanted. When he finally was like gifted with people who were like of his own mindset and just saw like humanity as like its very own petri dish in order to like to experiment with to their heart's content. The answer is it would be a living hell for him, because when you basically unleash the likes of Professor X, Emma Frost, Hope Summers, Exodus, and Beast from their moral shackles. Oh God, the train doesn't just go right off the tracks. It's like it explodes and explodes into ninjas. The ninjas are on fire. The ninjas are like go out and kill everyone like as they see, because they're in pain and blinded by the pain, like from the fact they're on fire. It's like, and then everyone dies and it's bad. And that's basically what we get with the Sins of Sinister, a world that just doesn't just go bad, but just keeps getting worse with each arc of the series, because it basically takes the House of X, Powers of X timeline of hey, what happens like 10 years out? What happens 100 years out? What happens 1,000 years out? And my God, shit gets real. Shit gets weird. Shit gets like so fucked up, man. It's like, but in a way that that hey, like if you're going to do like a storyline where everything gets gonna be turned back to normal at the end, then yeah, you gotta go for that fucked upness. It's like, and I really appreciate just the effort that that Guyland, Ewing, and Spurrier put into telling a good coherent story, like they dealt with all this stuff, and also and also just had impact into the into the main storyline as well, because we don't just get like say like the introduction of like Rasputin the Fourth here, but we also get like Mother Righteous deal it's like being able to like ascend ascend to her own plans. It's like in the present day, and also Nathaniel Essex, Sinister himself, realizing that, oh my God, I fucked up. It's like you've got to like you. So you've got to stop me. Like, you want to stop me. You have to stop one of me. Like who managed to become a dominion, but it's not me. Like it's great, and I kind of wish that like more Marvel stuff would be as crazy as as this. It's like I thoroughly enjoyed this, and even though I read through it twice on Marvel Unlimited ahead of the podcast, I did also wind up getting it like in print as well, because yeah, it's just that good. But what's better? Well, how about a series that also did better in its second outing, to the point where like you go like, hey, it's like, as I was saying earlier, it's like it's hard doing sequels, like to do like a follow up that was like better than the first, and doesn't just like wrap things up in the way that Shirtless Bear Fighter did, but also gets you excited for what's going to happen next. When you look at this and go, wow, I can kind of see what the creators are going for, but I don't know where exactly things are going. I'm excited to know what they're going to do, but I can't like say that this is that it's going to be this. Like I just want to know what's going to happen. What is going to happen in the next volume of the Night Eaters? Because volume 2 of the Night Eaters, Her Little Reapers, by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda, was fan-fucking-tastic. It was a lot of fun. It's like just showing Billy and Millie, coming into their like powers as like heir to like demonic, like their demonic heritage, but also their parents just saying, okay, yeah, we know you've told you your demons and your heritage, like, so well, figure it out. And figure it out they do in ways that are just surprising, unexpected, and downright funny. Because it's like, even though like this is a series all about just the fate of the world, with like like a big demonic threat hanging over like everything from the very start of the story, it's also like very irreverent, very fun. Like it's a story where Billy just is menaced by a guy who just like who warns about like hey, it's like you may like I may be able to help you, or maybe able to damn you. It's like, and it's like, hey, like, you have a name? It's like, no, but you must name me. How about Stick Figure Satan? Okay. How about Mr. Stick Figure Satan? Fine. Yeah, I love that bit. It's like, and also like a series that, as I mentioned in the podcast, a series that hinges its one of its big dramatic moments on its protagonist saying, "Wonder Tings, activate." Yeah, it is a cut above, definitely. And even though it's like this is meant to be a trilogy of graphic novels, like from the creators of Monstrous, um, I'm gonna be just a little bit sad to learn that they're wrapping things up with this third one. So, but maybe it's for the best. Maybe it's like that that they had this like side story to like this big epic they were trying to tell, and Monsters it was no slouch this year as well. I mean, like when they tried, basically like this is their the volume of Monsters we got this year was good, even as it basically departed wildly from everything that had made the series like engrossing beforehand. It's like I'm still very much invested in where that series is going, but at the same time though, I'm just a little bit sad that like the Ting family saga may be coming to an end with volume 3 of the Night Eaters next year. But I'm sure it's gonna be great, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do there. But as good as that was, well, I guess it's I can't wrap this up by saying that like there was also like some crap I read this year, and just some stuff that just left me disappointed as in terms of like the talent that was invested in it, and how things turned out. Kind of like Berserker, like Keanu Reeves' first co-written comic with Matt Kindt and illustrator Ron Garney. Promised to get really weird in its like second volume, but just ended with like, oh wait, we've got like more stuff we want to tell you, even as it just like ended in like a pretty much like sequel bait, full sequel bait mode there. And while I don't want to say that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind was like bad, I'm really kind of disappointed just about how like whiffed the ending, considering how everything up to that point was generally more or less entertaining. But if I'm going to say like what's the worst thing I read last year, well, I think something that took some stuff that like I really liked, and like I want to see more of, like more like creator creators taking big swings and also selling stuff to us like in big page count volumes, like for like if you're gonna sell like something for like $25, then yeah, sell it to us. Give us like like more than 250 pages in one volume. And that's another thing. Like for Dark Horse, putting all of like the most of the Magnolaverse stuff in hardcovers. Fuck that noise, man. If you're gonna like give me something that like a 4-issue series that only has one clever idea and doesn't expand on it as much as I would like with on the British Paranormal Society, Time Out of Mind, and you're gonna sell that to me for $25, oh man, like go straight to hell for that. Like I'm glad I waited until like Amazon was selling that for like half off. So, but and I still feel ripped off after reading it. But as far as like like big page counts, big price tags, big creator owned swings, I was really disappointed by 20th Century Men by Denise Camp and artist Stepan Moran. Not so much Moran's work, because dude has like a lot of versatility. Someone who can just like shift from like like great superhero ready splash pages to like Singovich evoking expressionism. Like his work was just really great, but reading a thinly veiled take on the Afghanistan war that involved superheroes, Russian cyborgs, Russians in like power armor, and that didn't actually need any of that stuff. That you could just take that stuff out, it wouldn't have changed the story in any meaningful way, and just kind of felt that was just like lecturing us about like, hey, war is bad, colonialism is bad, it's like unchecked aggressionism. It's like it felt like it was telling me a lot of stuff that was bad, that I already knew was bad, and just was like regurgitating it to me in ways that just that really felt boring and dull, and made its exercise length like a real chore to get through. It's like it's basically it's here because I've already put it on my to sell pile the next time I'm down at Book Off, and it's like it's like, and it was, and even though its name evokes Naoki Urasawa's classic 20th Century Boys, you should just go read that series instead, which is a much better series about just like how sometimes like arrested adolescents can lead to like worse things, but also just like reads better like more than once. I could not read on 20th Century Men more than once because it was just so much of a chore to get through again. And the crazy thing is that like for a series that that was as political and tried to be as pointed in its ideology as it was, I'm honestly shocked that Denise Camp basically like wants to go the Marvel route now. I mean, he went and did the Children of the Vault miniseries as part of the Fall of X event, and word is that he's going to be doing the new Ultimate series. It's coming out like the new Ultimate Marvel like line of titles, which okay, I mean that's not unheard of for a like for a creator just to like take their creator own success and just like go the like Marvel or DC route. But it's just wow, it's like you're you're doing this. You did a series about like the spotlight of the Russian perspective, like in all this, and just now you're going like for like one of the most American of comic franchises. Okay, fine. We'll see how that goes. I hope it works out for you and the rest of us. I mean, Paul O'Brien seemed to like Children of the Vault, but I really can't feel like I can be bothered at this. Maybe I'll read and review this series after they've off all the issues have arrived on Marvel Unlimited. But man, I just can't believe it. But at the same time, though, there's still hope. For the rest of this year. I mean, there's still lots of I'm looking forward to reading. Like a couple of series that I was hoping that would be finishing this year. Golden Kamui and like Kaguya-sama. They're actually set to finish this year, as is Delicious in Dungeon, which wrapped up its Japanese run, but will have its final American volumes published this year, and would almost certainly have taken the top spot. It's like if they had, it's like if I had just been counting on the Japanese release. It's like, but and then there's also the at the end of the Krakoan era, like it's like at Marvel with Jerry Dugan handling Fall of the House of X and Kieran Gillen doing Rise of the Powers of X, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they wrap things up, because the Krakoan era has been like one of the most fruitful and entertaining runs of X titles in a good long while, and I'm honestly kind of like at a loss is thinking like who could they get to um follow this up, and also how could they find a like a set of creators that are like as exciting as as Guylan was, and for that matter Hickman, who started things off, to like get me like compel me to keep reading X-Men comics after this. I mean, I'm sure I will, but there you go. But also there's like other new stuff like the Energon universe, like Kirkman's like reimagining of of the Transformers and GI Joe mythos, which I'll definitely be reading the like Transformers comic, because hey, Daniel Warren Johnson, I'll read anything he does, and also Void Rivals, which is Kirkman's like attempt to just hey, do something that's part of the universe but not like explicitly tied to like Transformers or GI Joe. So definitely invested in that. So there's plenty of stuff to like keep um keep following and find and seeing what's new in comics. I mean, like, oh, there's always plenty of stuff to talk about. But hopefully, I hope next year is that coming up with this like top 10 list will be a little easier than it was this year. If nothing else.
Yeah. 2024, since it's here, it's
Mm-hmm.
sort of we're already in February, so we've got the whole year. But don't worry, Christmas will be here in no time. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
11 whole months now.
Yeah, 11 whole months. Yep, it's almost there. We're almost to summer. We're almost fall. You might as well just say it that way. But yeah, I am looking forward to also chiming in on the Void Rivals stuff and all of the at least the Transformers ones. As far as they'll take me, I assume that it's going to be some good stuff. The previous series before it that was done by ADW had a very strong fan base. And supposedly the stories were really good. I haven't read them though, but I'm really looking forward to this set, and I'm invested in reading those stories as well. So we'll see how that rolls.
Oh yeah, it's like I look forward to hearing your thoughts on that. It's like, and I'm definitely looking forward to talking about Golden Kamui next time, because we're done. All 31 volumes are out, and I am 6 volumes deep as of this recording into rereading all 31. So that's what you got to look forward to for next time.
Awesome. All right. Well, then with that, we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right, later, everyone.
Bye.